Hey guys, our friend Josh Feuerstein is at it again. Now, I'm going to show you a video that he made, I believe, on the day that gay marriage was the day after exactly that gay marriage was legalized here in America. Hope this works. Ah, there we go. Okay, here's Josh's video. As you're going to see.
Guys, what's up? Josh Feuerstein here. Look, I need to explain to you why what Obama and the Supreme Court just did in legalizing gay marriage in all 50 states, literally usurping the authority of each individual state, is the beginning of the Christian Holocaust. Now, I know you may think that I'm crazy, but I just need to break it down for you so that you have understanding and knowledge, that you can see what is coming. There's very few voices that are speaking this kind of truth today, but here it is. For those of you, first of all, that think Obama is a Christian, you're totally wrong. I don't even know where you get that idea. If you look at Obama and the values and the principles, the things that he supports, the way that he operates, how is it that a Christian could support gay marriage? How is it that a Christian could support abortion? How is it that a Christian can push Muslim agenda? You cannot. If you are a Christian, you are a Christian above everything else. In frame of the word, you're a Christian. That gay marriage has been legalized across the board. No matter what the state wants to do about it, now all of a sudden it becomes hate speech. The moment that you even want to give a dissenting opinion, the moment that you want to say that you don't stand for gay marriage, look at what happens. All of a sudden, the public outcry: you are a bigot, you're a homophobe, you hate people, you're this, you're that, you know. And see, Obama's using the same tactics that Hitler did. Intimidation. What he does is this: he begins to paint particular groups of people like they are intolerant and they are against utopian society, but Christians that just want to hold on to their Bibles and their guns because they are intolerant, they are not for progress, and we need to do something about it.
Okay. Now I want to stop him there. Now, Josh pushes Islam agenda. Now, he says, how can anybody be a Christian if they support gay marriage, if they support abortion? Look, religion is a big thing in America. For example, abortion is the right a woman has. If she's raped, if the baby's going to kill her at childbirth, if she isn't ready, and this is mainly for teenage girls. The point being is, abortion is a safe medical procedure that women should have the right to. They shouldn't be chastised for getting an abortion, although I agree with early abortion, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, what I mean by nothing more, nothing less is, if a woman does not get an abortion by week 20, then she shouldn't get an abortion, because late-term abortion is murder at that point. So, and he also says that Obama is using Hitler tactics. Not really. I'll tell you why Obama isn't using Hitler tactics. Because Hitler, when Hitler first got into power, he said kill Jews, because Jews were evil to him. And he also had this hate for anybody who didn't think agreed with him. Now, Obama doesn't have hatred towards people who don't disagree with him. Obama has more of a distaste. Distaste is nothing like hate. Now, Josh went on before about, how people have the mentality, these stupid Christians, yada, yada, yada. Look, no one is forcing you to suck cock. No one is forcing you to get wet if you don't want to be a part of gay marriage, Josh. No one is forcing you to do that. But it's a basic human right to be happy, and that's through marriage. And some people, like me, and I'm openly pansexual. If you're a subscriber to my page, you know that. So people have the right to get wet. Doesn't matter if it's two women, if it's two men, if we're man or woman. Nobody's taking that away. So just remember where we're at now, where Josh is saying that Obama is using Hitler tactics, which he isn't. So continue, Josh. Oh, and before he continues, I just want to point out how people say that when people say homophobe, bigot, asshole, the term is appropriate. Anyway, I'm sorry, Josh, continue.
About in America, because this is the way that it's going. They call it progression, but what it really is, it's opening people up to the idea of persecution from people that do not believe the same thing that they believe in. You guys see how the tide of public opinion is turned against the Confederate flag. Now, I don't necessarily have an opinion on the Confederate flag except for this, except that in 1 week, it's gone from a non-issue to a humongous issue.
Okay. Let me correct you there, Josh. Now, the Confederate flag, true. People didn't bat an eye at it until a Republican senator of South Carolina had a friend who was one of the black ministers who was killed at that church, and he knew him for years, and it broke his heart that his friend was killed in cold blood. And rightfully so. I mean, if I were that guy, my heart would be broke as well. And so he took it to the governor of South Carolina, who just happens to be a direct descendant of Stonewall Jackson. And she even says it's time that this flag comes down. And people who know their history say that the Confederate flag represents oppression, racism, and the fight to keep slavery, which it does. Heritage. If you want to talk about heritage, look at your DNA. Look where your DNA traces back. That's your heritage. My heritage goes back to Scotland, Ireland, Cuba, New York. Point being is, that's my heritage, where my DNA comes from. What the characteristics of my DNA and which blood type it's from, and which, that's a heritage. That's a heritage. Where your blood type comes from, where your ancestors came from, that's a heritage. But if you really want to call a heritage where they fought to keep slaves, that's not heritage, that's just racism. And if you want to be called a racist, be my guest. If you want to fly your Confederate flag, be my guest. No one's stopping you, but it has no right to be on government ground. It was taken down today, and the American flag was raised. And you had all these, racist white people who came out against the governor of South Carolina, and they were told her, you side with the Yankees, you side with the liberal puppet. And the racists really came out today. So I mean, he is right in the aspect of no one batted an eye at the Confederate flag until someone brought it up. He is right there. In that aspect, he is right. Although, this is a big although, you can't compare the Supreme Court ruling of marriage equality to the Confederate flag, because I can tell you the Supreme Court ruling of gay marriage is a happy occasion. When people look at the Confederate flag, doesn't matter if you're black or white, it doesn't matter if you're from the north or south, if you're a reasonable person, if you're someone people could deal with, if you're a people person, if you're a non-prejudiced person, you know that the Confederate flag represents something that's horrible, while the LGBT rainbow flag doesn't. And Josh saying he has no opinion on the Confederate flag, that's bullshit, because it sounds like he supports it. Now, let's continue to see what Josh says.
And it's dividing our nation. And this is how Hitler worked. And this is what Obama's doing. Look at all of the race riots that have been taking place recently. They've all been spurred on by people going in and stirring things up. Why? Because Hitler understood that if you riot and you get people to be afraid, first of all, if you divide America by race and you divide people into segments, you can conquer it. But check this out. The minute that there's riots, people get afraid and people will trade their freedom for safety.
Okay, now, good old Josh is a little bit wacky here. Look, these race riots were not caused by the Obama administration. Let's look at Ferguson, Missouri. Let's look at, did Michael Brown commit a crime? Yes, but did the cop need to kill him? No. The guy who was selling Lucy's in New York, they just choked the guy to death. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. The one that Fruitvale Stations is about. He was killed by a white cop, because they thought he looked like trouble. And when you tell him that he wasn't doing anything, the cop shot him in the back. Tamir Rice, a 10-year-old young black kid playing with a toy gun. People were concerned that he was pointing around. I could see the concern. But instead of the cops asking if he was playing with a toy gun, they decided to kill him. Kill him in 2 seconds, and his sister, who wanted to say her final goodbyes to her brother as he was dying, the cops pushed her aside. So it's these cops who think who the fuck they are who are the problem. It's not Obama. No, it's not Obama. You know why it's not Obama? Because Obama was heartbroken when Sandy Hook happened. Obama is heartbroken when these situations happen. And frankly, he's so fucking sick of them that he's making a stand against conservative racism, which everyone should.
You want an America that has no guns and free meals and free health care and free everything and free time where only the police have guns? Well, check this out. They have something like that. It's called prison. Think about it, America. What's coming? It's time to wake up. I'm asking that you would take a few moments and that you would share this video. Why? Because somebody today needs to wake up to the truth that yes, the dictators that are in power today are stripping freedom from the American people. I promise you, something scary is coming. So share the video, like, comment below. You know, my friend already on Facebook. You want a daily dose of truth? Click my name at the top of the video. Let's be friends. God bless. Have a beautiful day.
Okay. And I want to let that video play out. He says something scary is coming. I do agree, something scary is coming, but it's the rise of these Nazi conservative Christians. They are the Nazis of America because they defend racism. They defended the Confederate flag. They are literally, I think, the descendants of the KKK. Now, even the KKK is defending the Confederate flag, which is a given because the KKK is the most known racist group in this country. So that was his video on marriage equality. Now, let's close that out. Now,
hey guys, what's up, Josh?
Okay. Now, this is his latest video. It's I'll let you judge for yourself.
Hey guys, what's up? Josh Feuerstein here. Look, you've already seen the news article floating around Facebook about the man, the homosexual man that's already filed a lawsuit, $70 million against 2 different Bible publishers because he wants homosexuality removed from the scripture. Really? Now, I think I remember saying this a long time ago. I remember telling you guys a long time ago that this was not about gay marriage and equality. I realized a lot of people a couple of weeks ago said, oh my word, this is about love wins. It's about gay marriage. It's about equal rights. This has never been about equal rights because civil unions gave them equal rights. But
okay, I got called bullshit there. Look, civil unions did not give us rights, equal rights at all. No, civil unions was what is equivalent to what happens to Black Americans all the time in this country when the government just throws them a bone and the government expects Black people to be happy with the bone that they've thrown them. That's exactly what civil unions were to gay people like me and hundreds of others. It was like a bone thrown to us that the government wants to be happy with, so we wouldn't pursue for equal rights. A long way to go to fight for those equal rights. We're not fully equal, but yes, the Supreme Court ruling, like I said, was for marriage equality, and love did win. And as to the story that he's talking about that's been floating around Facebook, now I'm on Facebook almost 24/7. I would have seen that story. So Josh, please convince me that I'm wrong.
here's what it's really been about. It's about reconstitutionalizing a term so that now it opens up the door for the left and the liberals to come after Christianity. And I'll prove it to you. Do you realize that this last week, a judge ordered a $135,000 fine against a baker who refused to bake a gay wedding cake? $135,000 fine because he said that it was equivalent to mental rape.
Okay. Oh, my friend Ethan said, prove me with news articles. Oh, wow. Using violence to fight back, you'll never win. They have the largest military in the world on their side. They have tanks, drones, jets, helicopters, air defenses, etc. You can fight the United States. Okay, but anyway, what Josh was saying, yeah. Sorry, I got off track a little. Yeah, there was a bakery, which is true. There was a bakery that was fined for not baking a cake for a lesbian wedding. Now, I didn't exactly read the full article, but all I know is that a lesbian couple who were engaged and wed went into this bakery and ordered a pretty expensive cake, and they were denied because they were a lesbian couple. Now, if this was a state-owned bakery, I could see them getting fined. If it was a private owned, I would see them getting fined. Hear me out. It's discrimination either way. It's persecution either way as well. But considering that they got fined, I'm assuming it was a state-owned bakery and not a privately owned bakery. Now, I gotta backtrack a little because I'm kind of blanked out after I read Ethan's comment.
About. It's about reconstitutionalizing a term so that now it opens up the door for the left and the liberals to come after Christianity. And I'll prove it to you. Do you realize that this last week a judge ordered a $135,000 fine against a baker who refused to bake a gay wedding cake? $135,000 fine because he said that it was equivalent to mental rape.
Okay. Now, here's a typical conservative fighting stance, which I see all the fucking time, is when you see this conservative who's saying, "Oh, it's just for the liberals." You know, it's kind of like girl chat in the girls' rooms that go on during high school. That these are what the conservatives do on a daily basis. No. There's conservatives and liberals on the side of same-sex marriage who say it was the right call. And you have liberals and conservatives who say remove the Confederate flag was the fucking right call. And yet you have liberals and conservatives who are against same-sex marriage and who are against Confederate flag being taken down. And we know who the horrible people are, and we know who and as to comparing mental rape to not baking a gay wedding cake, I never heard that analogy before, so I'm not even going to comment on that.
Really? How ludicrous is this? Just to go on to show you that there's a parallel between, look, Joe Biden came out this last week and said that it was a sad day in America because of all of the religious bigotry that has held back the constitutional rights for the LGBT movement. Really?
Well, yeah, really, because America, and Josh says the Christians are being persecuted. The LGBT Christians are being persecuted. Let's be fair. The LGBT Christians are being persecuted by the people in their own religion. But Joe Biden is right. For years, the LGBT, since 1865, have been fighting for their equal rights. 1865 and 1969, when the Stonewall event happened in New York, that was the new awakening of the LGBT movement. And yes, really, Josh, there was a sad day in America when this incident with the bakery happened.
Now we're oppressing them. You see what's beginning to go on there? You see how they're beginning to...
Oh, thank you, Josh, for bringing up the favorite argument like that I love about Christians is that, oh, we're oppressing them. We don't oppress. We love. Yeah. Conservative Christians oppress. Real Christians love people regardless of who they are, what religion they belong to, what sexual orientation they are. That's a real Christian, and that's a real person in general.
To paint Christians. I've been telling you guys for a long time it's happening. And then to top it all off, there's a pastor in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, that they're telling him that if he does not marry gay couples, they're threatening him with arrest and imprisonment.
Okay, now I could kind of see why he has a problem with that. Now, as a pansexual guy, if I were a Christian and if I wanted to marry, let's just say, a man I was engaged to, true, I could see why he has a problem with this guy being threatened of being arrested if he doesn't perform the service. I don't think anybody should be forced to perform same-sex marriage service if they're uncomfortable with it. I really don't think someone should be forced to do that. I can see why he has a problem with this. But if there is a other pastor at hand, they should perform the ceremony. Other pastor at hand, if they have no problem with the ceremony, that is.
Really? That's his First Amendment right to refuse. Why are we backing down to the government and not drawing a line in the sand? They're coming after our First Amendment constitutional rights. Well, check this out. This is one pastor that will not bow. Why? Because my First Amendment right is guaranteed by my Second Amendment right.
Okay, now that's fucking scary. You are not going to convince anybody to agree with you when you use a fucking automatic weapon in your video. Yet, in this country, true, we have the right to own a gun. But, Josh, you do not need a fucking automatic machine gun. A gun like that has been used in Sandy Hook, has been used at Columbine, has been used at Virginia Tech, has been used at Sandy Hook. You really want to open up wounds?
Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's time that we finally take a stand and say no more. We're not backing up any farther. We're not going to allow a tyrannical government to come in and strip away our rights as Christians and try to demonize us so that they can make the Bible bigoted. It's not going to happen.
Look, a lot of Americans, even atheists, don't know this. I mean, some do, a lot of atheists do, but some don't. Like a lot of Christians know this, and some. But the Bible, Old Testament, is a shorter version of the Jewish Torah. And the Torah has a lot of fucked up shit in there. While the New Testament is the Christian part of the Bible. That's like, the New Testament is like the Christian's Book of Mormon. So, yeah, but, I mean, Joshua Feuerstein here is looking like an ISIS member. I'll tell you why he's looking like an ISIS member. Like I said, he's not going to convince anybody holding up a machine gun like that. I mean, that's almost like me holding up a shotgun to someone's face saying, if you don't support gay marriage, I'm going to blow your head off. I mean, that would look just as bad, and it would be as equally horrible as to what Josh is doing by holding the gun up in the video. And I have no problem if he wants to own a gun, but at least make it a handgun or a rifle for hunting. But, I mean, for Christ's sake, don't have a fucking machine gun.
Asking that if you agree with me, if you stand for freedom, I'm asking that you would take a moment and click share. Why? Because if you're silent for too long, it's going to be too late. Click share on the side, the bottom of this video, like and comment below. If you're not my friend already on Facebook, click my name at the top of the video, and let's be friends. God bless. Have a very, very beautiful day.
Now that is a scary man. That is one scary man. Why would anybody, why would anybody trust this guy? Why would anybody trust this guy for the truth? He hasn't expressed the truth. He expresses violence. He expresses hate. He expresses bigotry. He expresses racism. Maybe, maybe not. But I'm not ruling that out at this point. So Joshua Feuerstein, you are like an American ISIS member. You are not a good Christian. As an atheist who is also Unitarian Universalist, I volunteer at soup kitchens to help those who can't afford a hot meal every night. That's what a true Christian would do. Someone who has an open heart to serve fellow man. And you quote Jesus so much in your videos half the time, you don't even listen to the words Jesus said. He said, love thy neighbor. He wasn't fucking specific. And he said, he without sin may cast the first stone. And you know why nobody casted the stones in the Bible? Because everybody, including Jesus, had sinned. Everybody sins. If there is a God, he knows that we sin. He knows that we sin. And he knows that we shouldn't judge others. That is if he's real. But we shouldn't judge others anyway, regardless of they're Christian, gay. But this is my favorite. This is my favorite hypocrisy of Christians like him. They say, oh, we don't judge, we're good Christians, but yet they're condoning gay people. They're condoning anybody who doesn't think like them. They might as well wear buckle belts that say Gunstehund, which is what the Nazis wore in World War II, and translated from German to English is God is with us.